Just about.
Hey, Wendy. How are you? Yeah.
It's 6:30. I'm going to call the meeting of the Gateway Ranch Homeowners Association to order. You have the minutes in front of you. I hope that-
The resignation
Oh,
first.
that's my first. Okay.
There was an email attached to everybody's, there's an email attached to the front of everybody's board packet. Greg Gonzalez has made the decision to resign from the board of directors. He has 1 year left in his term, and he nominated Rob Hallberg to serve the remainder of his term, which is 1 year. So we'll send out ballots again and everything next May. This is a board of directors decision for your bylaws. How do you guys wish to
I make a motion that we elect Rob Halper to fill out Greg's term, which ends up in May of 2019.
I second that.
Moved and seconded. Question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Is that everybody? Are you opposed?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll note that. All right, and that motion was carried due to a majority of the board voting for said motion. All right, and now we can move to the minutes.
Okay. Has everybody had time to review their minutes? Ready?
Thanks, Mom, yes.
Make a motion, minutes be approved.
I second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Financial report. That's what says in minutes, by the way.
Janine, do you want me to do the financial report, or Judy? Judy, sorry, we switched.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to start as of February 28th, 2018. The minutes that are going to be accepted this meeting are March through April 2018. As of February 28th, our total checking and savings was $160,000, $881.73. Accounts receivable is in the negative right now, which is actually a good thing because we're a nonprofit. That means owners have paid ahead. Totaling right now, our total assets, as of February 28th, $150,909.20. So now I'm going to bounce forward as of April 30th. And I include, Wendy, the 3 balance sheets so you have a comparison month to month, whether we're losing, gaining, what's going on. As of April 30th, we had total in our bank accounts $165,675. Accounts receivable are they're up negative $9,091 because people pay ahead and it just comes out of that. Total assets as of April 30th, $157,065. Now, the next page is going to be our customer balance summary, and this is something that's considered private, that we wouldn't discuss in open meeting, but it is provided to you each meeting so you're aware of said balances. What we are allowed to say are things such as the name at the top of the list has gone down. There's nobody wildly delinquent right now. There's really not any action that needs to be taken at this time. But as far as specific names, lot numbers, amounts, we want to refrain from talking about that in an open meeting. The next item that we have is our check request. I typically add little handwritten notes on things. I try to put myself in your guys' shoes. So I try to think of things that might throw me off if I was a director, and I put handwritten notes of what those are. A good example is the deposit into the Wells Fargo Reserve, $1,527. When I was reviewing that, I felt that that may be confusing, but that was just money being moved from your operating into your reserve account, per your reserve study, that 30-year budget that we have. Other than that, everything is pretty normal. The telephone and internet are for the gate. The website is quarterly. For Platinum, we have the management fee. The legal is a fee that we charge homeowners when they're delinquent. When you're delinquent the first time, there's a $5 fee associated with that letter. The second time it's $15. Third time it's $20. It is charged back to the homeowner. The homeowner reimburses that amount. But it's definitely lowered your delinquencies quite a bit. The delinquencies used to total, I believe, upwards of $5,000. And as you can see, there's a huge change there. Following that, we have postage, printing, and supplies. Those are your letters, envelopes, board books, things of that nature. The electric is for the gate, and again, another reserve deposit. And that's all we have on that check detail for 2 months. We don't do a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of money being moved. There's not a whole lot of bills that we have to pay. And anything that's not a normal expense, you guys are made aware of because it's approved in a meeting. This is Wendy's first meeting also, you guys, so that's why I'm being very specific about what we're doing as a board member. The next item, or the next report is our profit and loss, budget versus actual. When I'm looking at this report, I'm looking at the far right side. If there's a percentage that's 400 or 500%, that means we're incredibly over budget. Right now, we're doing really well. We are actually under budget on quite a few items. We budgeted our net income at $6,422 for January through April 2018. We were at $8,242 for net income, so that's great. We're almost $2,000 up. Our assessment income was a little bit under, but fines income, interest income, and late fee income, we actually ended up with a little bit more income than was budgeted. Weed abatement was done in January. We're right on for that. Gate repairs with Kaiser, we've not had any new repairs arise, so we're actually under budget. And that one is a safeguard budgeting item. We're not necessarily going to spend it, but we always want to have that set aside. Gate maintenance. Maintenance. It says 0 at 300. We're under on that one. Other contract services says, sorry, I'm trying to read this. Okay, other contract services, $89. That is actually your internet, and I believe I created a line item for internet, so I have to review that. I'm going to circle it. Your insurance. Your insurance is typically billed later in the year. This year we paid it a little early because it's insurance. We don't want to lapse. As soon as I receive the statement, I pay it. We are going to be over on insurance. Due to past claims, they did increase our, not deductible, premium. They increased our premiums. But they have been a really good company, and those should start going back down provided we don't have to do any further claims in the near future. Management fees.
Excuse me, what kind of claims were there?
There was a claim where a vehicle ran through the gate. There was, it's mostly having to do with the gate being hit.
That was old though. It wasn't a long time.
No, there's been multiple occurrences since then. So it was last year in 2017, but it's affecting our fees this year because we pay on an annual basis.
Okay.
But it has happened more than once. The most recent one, though, the contractor hit the keypad, and it was Wildcat Exterminating. They were nice enough and honest enough to contact us, tell us, and their insurance covered it. So we were not affected by the most recent one.
Plus you had it on camera as well, didn't you?
We did, but I didn't even have to review surveillance. They called me before I even was out here touring and noticed that it was leaning. So
Perfect.
that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
It was a nice change.
Yeah, very nice.
Question about the surveillance.
Yeah.
When we had the break-ins that time with the cars and stuff like that, was the surveillance ever checked?
If the police ask us to pull surveillance, we're happy to do so. But no, because we don't have, if it's a broad time frame, the most you can speed it up is 8 times faster than it would be normally. And that's hours and hours. If you tell me a 15-hour period, I can't sit and review surveillance, and we don't pay anybody to do that. If you give me a time frame of a few hours, I can typically review. It's pretty easy. But if the police come to us asking for surveillance footage, we hand it over happily, and I do believe Greg did hand some over to them for the mailbox issue as well as when the break-ins occurred. Management fees are right on budget. Permits, fees, and taxes are $10 under budget. Postage, we're under. Printing, we're under. Supplies, we did not budget. I'm gonna have to research that one. Let me circle it. Legal, we are way under. We had $1,200 budgeted, and we received a $55 payment from some delinquency somewhere. Accounting and tax prep, we're $100 under, so that's your taxes and your compilation. And those are required per state statute. If you guys ever wanted a full audit done, we also have a number of accountants with whom we work. But the audit, the compilation is roughly $650 to $850, depending on who does it. A full audit is typically $3,500 to $5,000, depending on who does it. With that said, an audit is a good thing to do every 5 to 10 years, just to make sure everything is good. Legal and accounting, there's the $10 fee that's related to the delinquency processing fees that we discussed earlier, which is reimbursed to the association. The website is a little bit over, it's $4 over. They have a slight increase this year, we were noticed of it. Administration is totaling $10,525.74. We budgeted $8,228. We're over because our insurance was paid early. Once in the next month or two, when that shows up in our budget, that's going to even out and lower. The internet is for the surveillance. We're under budget, $93. Electric is for the gate. We are actually under $43.38. The telephone, we are under $1.81. So our utilities were under $138.19 under budget, which is great. Our total expenses, $12,781.55, and our income is over by $1,820. So you guys are looking really good. Were there any questions concerning the financial report?
I make a motion to approve the financial report.
We want to accept it.
Or accept it.
Sorry to be a stickler.
No,
Just because we can't change anything in the past.
All right. I make a motion to accept the financial report.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Committee reports.
I can do the ARC report because Greg resigned from the board. Excuse me. Since the last board meeting, there have been 5 submittals reviewed by the Architectural Review Committee. All 5 have been approved. Submittals included 2 gazebos, 1 patio cover, and 2 landscape changes. So 5 of them. The patio cover is permanent to match the house. The gazebos are of wood architecture with the corrugated metal roofing. Everything was well within our guidelines and within Pima County guidelines for square footage. And then also, in addition, the gazebos were placed where there's low visibility, so they weren't very visible to neighboring lots or to the street. So there was that. Following that, and Wendy, this is specifically for you. There is, well, not specifically for you. We do this every time. I'm explaining it for you. we have a list of every lot in the community and every item that's been approved on each lot. We do this so if there is something that the board sees and they're curious, you know, hey, was that approved? It'll be on this list. And that is all I have for the architectural review report. The next item, it has been a year since last time we appointed members, chairs, as well as the chair and the 2 additional members. Their terms are 1 year. So we do need to appoint a chair of the committee now, and we need to appoint 2 members. The 2 members that are currently on the committee are willing to continue serving. That is Tommy Polam.
Or, no,
Polam?
is Kevin on there?
Kevin, yes, as well. Kevin Jordan and Tommy. We don't have a chair right now because Greg resigned. So we essentially need to appoint a chair who has to be a director. And that's a state statute. And we need to either reappoint the 2 existing members, or if there's anybody who would like to volunteer, we can consider those people as well. We don't have a ton of people volunteer. The 2 members that have been on there have been doing a wonderful job. So this is up for board discussion. Let me know how you guys
Can we
feel.
go these one at a time?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with the chair.
All right, Rob Harburg is going to be on our board, so he would have to be our chair.
I need a motion. We have
I need a
to-
motion. I make one motion to elect Rob Harburg as the chairperson for the architectural committee.
I second it.
Moved and seconded, question on the motion? All in favor?
So, I'm sorry, so you're putting him on the board and the architectural chair?
He has to be.
Whether it's on the architectural committee, there has to be a board chairman.
Okay. And so Greg, is he staying on our committee?
We're not at Greg yet, but
Oh.
we're going through them one at a time. So, what other questions on the motion for Rob Harburg? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Greg showed interest on staying on the committee as well. He's done an excellent job with everything that he's done. He's been very thorough with all the examinations and good readings and the presentations. And I make a motion, we put Greg Gonzalez on the architectural committee as well.
I second it.
Moved and seconded. Question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Kevin Jordan has been on there for a while now. He's been doing an excellent job. He's had some hands-on experience with what has to be done on the architectural committee a while back. And he has shown interest that he wants to stay on the board. So I make a motion, we elect Kevin Jordan to the board, architectural committee.
I second it.
Moved and seconded. Question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Yes, all right. So our new art committee, the chair, who by per state statute has to be a director, a board member, is Rob Hallberg. And our 2 members are Greg Gonzalez and Kevin Jordan, and it's a 1-year term. So following the next annual meeting, we'll revisit that, see if we want to appoint a different chair and different members, if we want to reappoint them for another 1-year term. And that's that.
The weed tech is in.
It is.
Oh, there it is.
There's also a management report for the board of directors. The management report is just an update on tasks that have been completed, compliance notices sent out. This is directly to the board. You guys are able to review that. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask me. It doesn't need it from a weed tech, that's fine.
Does anybody have a chance to read the letter from weed tech?
When do we need to make a decision on that weed control?
We want to do it sometime this month or early next month. A lot of vendors were talking about maybe doing it in July to ensure that the rain
Right.
lays it down or whatever it does, activates it. But we do want to do it soon. If we wanted to get additional bids, we could. We did have 3 bids. All 3 bids were reviewed at the last meeting. This company was found to have the safest chemicals. He was unable to attend the meeting to answer questions, but he wrote a 3-page letter about his company. He does work in a number of other communities. He worked for ADOT for 35 years. It's an all-around good company, but there is an explanation in the letter. As for Wildcat, they use the same chemicals as everybody else. And as far as the other company, they do as well.
And you've seen Weed Tech's work?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I can give you guys an address if you wanted to come look. I can give you an area where they treat our buffalo grass and our weeds versus some county land. You can see a definitive line of the progress they're making. They're wonderful. I've not had any complaints, and the community that they work in is their standards are incredibly high. They are very, very picky. It's a beautiful neighborhood. And for a vendor to not have any complaints ever is kind of outrageous. So he's wonderful.
So this is like a resume for him, but what was his cost?
It's on the third page.
Was it on there?
$400 for treatment, additional work $1,400.
Thank you.
What's the price compared to the other companies, just out of curiosity?
The other company that we were using was $1,600. Wildcat was roughly $2,100. And the third company I think was kind of exorbitant. I want to say they were over $3,000. This one is the cost of a single application of pre-emergent herbicide is $1,275, which will cover all the roadway edges for a 10-foot wide swath. In some stretches of the roadside areas, there are drainage ditches which extend wider than the specified 10-foot width. Weed Tech suggests that in these cases, these drainages be treated in addition to the specific treatment area. The cost to include this additional work is $1,440. Note, these ditches carry considerably more water than the flat roadway edges and are therefore prone to significantly more weed growth. Now, a quick comment on that. It was wonderful for him to include that. Unfortunately, we have a 10-foot easement for which we do weed control. That's it. Homeowners are responsible for their ditches. So if they're outside of that 10-foot easement where the association cares for it, they have to handle those weeds.
So you're talking about the huge ditches on, okay, so they were gonna include that, which is basically doing the whole thing another 10 feet almost.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, which
Okay.
we can't as an association do. It won't benefit every homeowner.
Right.
One of the things that I like about him is that his, he uses chemicals that are safer for people and pets, but also, the whole buffalo grass thing, and I was surprised he doesn't mention the buffalo grass.
If you ever meet him, he will.
Okay. That to me is
in
something that we really need to
In that
address.
10-foot swath though, there's not a huge amount of buffalo grass, which is probably why he didn't address it here.
That's true.
But if you want to contract with him, he also does residential contracting. If you want to contract him for buffalo grass mitigation, he's incredible. To me, I use that as an example because it speaks to what he does. I've never seen another contractor come in and be able to mitigate buffalo grass. It always grows back the next year.
How is his buffalo grass treatment and the other one, like,
So-
if you look at it comparatively, I mean, do
He
they slower or?
basically, we've had him for about 4 years, and he starts really heavy, and he hikes the hills. We basically are in HGZ, which is high desert zone. It's on the mountains over by Sabino Canyon, so we're very limited in what we can do. He hikes, he has this really long hose, and he has backpacks, and him and his brother hike, and they spray the buffalo grass, but it has to be grown a certain amount. So it's not just a blanket spray. he sprays each buffalo grass and it has to have green because they die over the winter and then the green comes back and then it just keeps getting bigger. So he has to see the green and he sprays it because that circulates his chemicals through it and then he leaves it. Once it's dead, it's dead. You don't shake it. You don't bag it up like they recommend because when you shake it, 100 seeds fly all over. So you leave it and once it's dead, it's dead. And it has made the biggest difference. Eventually it deteriorates and it's gone. I mean, he will talk to you for hours about it. I'm not going to go any further into it, but he does. He's incredible. And so each year, our cost goes down significantly because it's getting better and better. It's not like a contracted set price and it doesn't increase. Because there's less and less buffalo grass, the cost goes down. Yeah.
And did you bring his information for us peanut galleries, or you did not?
I did not. I can give you my copy of the letter if you'd wish.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just genuinely happy with the work. I also like Wildcat, and I also like the other company that I did. But you guys are looking for a safer option. That's pet friendly, kid friendly, human friendly. So that kind of limits us. And I have dealt with a couple of the really natural weed spray guys, and unfortunately, if you go 100% natural, you kind of get results, but not really. And
So
for this,
he's not 100% then?
he's not 100% natural. No, his chemicals are safer than his competitors.
So it's a compromise.
It is.
Okay.
And going 100% natural, we'd also have to hire a regular landscape contractor to come in and pull weeds, every 2 weeks. So that would be an additional cost.
So he does the best of both worlds.
He does. I genuinely think he does wonderful work. And again, so does Wildcat, but they use way stronger chemicals. So for what you guys are looking for, I think he's the best fit for the community. And his price is reasonable. It's less than what you guys have been paying. You went from paying $2,300 twice a year to $1,600 twice a year to this. So
No, I'm ready to come up with a start. This was a help. I'm comfortable with it.
I don't see why we couldn't try it out.
I'd like to make a motion
That's
to
okay.
accept
okay.
weed tech. Do I have a second on that?
Yes.
Who seconded it?
Do I have a
That's okay.
on it?
I was going to,
Thank
but
you.
Wendy
Well,
was
second.
Another one, Brooke, on.
formalities.
All in favor?
Oh.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
I have it.
All right. Yay.
New business. Okay.
So the new
First-
business. Oh, sorry.
New business. First thing, I want to welcome Wendy to the board. Congratulations.
Thanks.
It's interesting. I think you're going to find that all of us here have a real vested interest in the community. We want the best for what's going on here, and we really work hard at trying to keep that. We went through a period of time, there's a few struggles going on, and I think that's corrected. And we're moving forward with it. All that being said, stop signs. All right, I'm not opposed to stop signs. I just want to clarify a few things on it. First off, we have no enforcement on it. I think everybody's aware of that because it is a gated community. And if we're going to do stop signs, we really need 4, not 1. And the other thing I like to do is, let me pass that down, I only have 2 of these.
Oh,
It's something that kind of blends with the harmony of the neighborhood a little bit. Please, there's no enforcement on it. And I just like at least get some input on it. And
Rusted. Because our gates.
It's like a little
Our
mini
gates
sign.
are, oh no, our gates are painted.
Oh, yes, we,
I'm thinking the rusted metal.
it's not that complicated, please.